They said every lie has an expiration date. But in Ravenshade, lies didn't just fade, they fermented. For years, the truth had been buried under whispers, favors, and fear. And when it finally clawed its way out, it didn't come quietly. It came with blood, broken trust, and a man standing at the edge of everything he believed in. That man was Arlen Cole. And this was the night the truth stopped asking to be heard. It was just after sunset when Arlen pulled his old gray sedan onto Hollow Creek Road. The air carried that strange calm that comes before a storm, heavy and still. The narrow lane cut through the heart of Ravenshade's older district, part of town people said was forgotten by progress. Streetlights flickered, casting shadows that stretched across the cracked pavement. He parked in front of a small brick house, the kind that looked like it had been holding its breath for years. He sat there for a moment, hands resting on the steering wheel, staring at the front porch light. It was on, which meant someone was waiting. But he wasn't sure if that someone was still on his side. Inside, his phone buzzed with a new message. "You shouldn't have reopened this, Arlen. Some things were meant to stay buried." No name, no number, just that. He locked the phone and stepped out into the cool night. His boots echoed against the pavement as he approached the house. From inside, a figure moved behind the curtains, a woman's silhouette. He paused. "Lena," he called softly. The door opened, revealing Lena Marin, the only person in Ravenshade who'd ever really believed him. Her face was pale under the porch light, eyes tired but sharp. "You shouldn't be here," she said immediately. "I didn't have a choice," Arlen replied. "They're reopening the case." Her breath caught. "After 6 years?" He nodded. "After 6 years of pretending we all moved on." Lena stepped aside to let him in. The house smelled faintly of rain and coffee, the kind of place that used to feel safe. She led him into the small living room where files were already spread out across the table, photos, reports, maps. It looked like she hadn't stopped, digging since the day he left town. "They're saying new evidence came up," she said. "Something about a missing witness." "Not missing," Arlen corrected quietly. "Silenced." Lena looked at him. "You're sure?" "I saw the report." "Same handwriting, same initials. Someone inside the department doctored it." The weight of his words filled the room. Arlen wasn't just anyone. He had been Ravenshade's youngest detective, until the night everything went wrong, until the Mira Denning case, the one that tore the town apart. A missing journalist, a forged confession, and a lie that had cost Arlen his badge, his reputation, and nearly his sanity. "You think it's starting again?" Lena said quietly. "I think it never stopped," he replied. "We just stopped looking." She sat back, rubbing her temples. "Arlen, if this gets out again—" "It's already out," he interrupted. "Someone wants me to back off." That message wasn't a warning. It was a threat. He pulled out a folded photo from his coat pocket, a picture of Mira Denning, smiling under a summer sky. "She tried to expose them once," he said. "Now it's my turn." Outside, thunder rolled low across the horizon. The next morning, Ravenshade was alive with rumors. A new police chief had taken over the department, and whispers about the old case were spreading like wildfire. People at cafes lowered their voices when they said Mira's name. At the precinct, officers exchanged uneasy glances when Arlen's face appeared on the security cameras, walking in uninvited. Chief Hadley looked up from his desk when Arlen entered. "You've got nerve showing up here, Cole," he said. "And you've got skeletons you're pretending not to see," Arlen shot back. Hadley leaned back, smirking. "You lost your badge, remember? You don't get to walk in here like a hero." "I didn't come for your permission," Arlen said calmly. "I came for the files. The Mira Denning files are sealed." "Then unseal them." "Not without a court order." Arlen dropped a USB drive on the desk. "You might want to check what's already leaking before you worry about orders." Hadley's smirk faded. "You're bluffing." "Try me." They stared at each other. Two men who'd once worn the same badge, now standing on opposite sides of the truth. After a tense silence, Hadley leaned forward. "You're walking a fine line, Cole. This town doesn't forgive people who stir ghosts." Arlen turned for the door. Maybe it's time it did. By evening, Arlen was back at Lena's place, his laptop glowing with old police footage. Frame by frame, he rewatched the night. Mira vanished. The last night she was seen leaving the courthouse parking lot. In the background of the grainy footage, a figure stood beside a black car, tall, wearing a badge. The face was blurry, but the reflection on the windshield caught something unmistakable. A department insignia. Arlen paused the video. That's not a civilian. That's one of us. Lena leaned closer. Can you tell who? Not yet, but I know where to look. He opened an old folder on his laptop labeled Internal Affairs. Inside were names, officers, who had been transferred, suspended, or mysteriously promoted around the same time Mira disappeared. At the top of the list, Captain Rowan Keats. Lena frowned. Wasn't he promoted to head of investigations? Arlen nodded grimly. Exactly. Promoted after the cover-up. Later that night, Arlen parked across from the Ravenshade. Police club, a private bar where off-duty officers drank away their secrets. Inside, the hum of conversation mixed with low jazz and cigarette smoke. He spotted Rowan at the far end, laughing with two others. Arlen approached slowly, each step measured. The laughter died when Rowan saw him. Well, if it isn't the ghost of Hollow Creek, Rowan said, grinning. Didn't think you'd ever show your face again. I didn't come to drink, Arlen said. Then why come at all? To ask why you signed off on a forged report. The entire bar went quiet. Rowan's grin faded. You're treading dangerous ground. I've already been buried once, Arlen replied. I've got nothing left to lose. Rowan stood, his expression darkening. You don't know what you're dealing with. Mira wasn't who you think she was. Then enlighten me, Arlen said coldly. She was feeding both sides. The department and the press. She was going to take us all down until someone took her first. Arlen's jaw tightened. Who? Rowan hesitated. You wouldn't believe me even if I told you. Before Arlen could respond, a loud crash came from behind him. The bartender, a young man Arlen didn't recognize, had accidentally dropped a glass. But the way he looked at Arlen wasn't accidental at all. It was warning. Get out, Rowan muttered, before you end up like her. When Arlen stepped outside, rain had started to fall. His mind raced. Someone wanted him scared or gone. He got into his car and started the engine. His headlights caught movement in the rearview mirror. A car. Lights off, pulling out after him. He didn't head home. Instead, he drove toward the old quarry road, taking sharp turns through the fog until the car behind him faded into the mist. He pulled over, breathing hard. His hands trembled, not from fear, from anger. He dialed Lena. They're watching me, he said. I told you this would happen, she replied. You need to leave town. Not until I finish what I started. He looked out over the dark quarry, a massive pit of shadow and rain. Somewhere out there was the truth, and he wasn't leaving without it. And that was the night everything in Ravenshade began to unravel, because by morning, a video would appear online, leaked anonymously, showing the forged police report, the falsified statements, and a list of names tied to Mira's disappearance. And for the first time in 6 years, Ravenshade would finally start whispering the truth out loud. The rain had stopped, but the air still carried that heavy scent of fear, like the world itself had been holding its breath for too long. Emma's shoes made a soft squelch as she stepped through the mud, walking toward the old house at the end of Willow Lane. The same house where everything had started. The front door creaked open before she could even knock, as if someone had been expecting her. The hallway was dimly lit by a single bulb swinging gently from the ceiling, flickering with every sigh of the wind. In the corner, a shadow moved. You came, a voice said, low, broken, and rough from years of silence. Emma froze, her heart pounding. I came for the truth, and I'm not leaving without it. Figure stepped forward. It was Michael. His face older, harder, marked by regret. The man she once trusted, the man who'd ruined everything. He smiled bitterly. You think you even know what truth means anymore? Emma's voice cracked. I know what you did. You lied to everyone. To me, to her. She pointed toward the photograph she held, a girl's smiling face, caught forever in a memory. Michael's eyes flickered toward it. And for a moment the storm returned, not outside, but in his expression. She wasn't supposed to die, he whispered. It was supposed to be an accident. But when I found out what she knew, Emma's voice rose, trembling. You killed her because she found out you stole the money. Because she was going to tell. Michael stepped closer. You think it was about money? You really think it was that simple? His tone darkened. She wasn't just going to tell. She was going to destroy everything. You, me, the town, all of it. The lies were holding this place together. Emma shook her head, tears spilling down her cheeks. No, the lies tore it apart. Suddenly there was a sound, a soft knock from upstairs. Both of them froze. The house seemed to breathe with them. Emma whispered, "Who's up there?" Michael's face went pale. No one's supposed to be. The knock came again, and louder this time. Emma moved toward the staircase despite his warning. "Stay where you are!" Michael shouted, but she didn't stop. The steps creaked beneath her feet as she climbed. The hallway upstairs was colder, and at the end of it, the old door was slightly open, the same door that had been sealed since that night. Her trembling hand pushed it wider. The room smelled of dust and time, and on the desk by the window, there lay a small black tape recorder, red light blinking. Emma pressed play. A voice filled the room. It was her, the girl from the photograph. Her laughter turned into words, clear and trembling. If you're hearing this, it means I didn't make it out. Michael, he's not who you think. He's been using everyone. The money, the lies, it's all connected. But if Emma finds this, maybe she'll know what really happened. Michael appeared behind her, panting. Turn it off. Emma turned to face him, her expression fierce. The tape still playing in the background. It's over. He lunged forward, but she stepped back. The floorboard cracked, then gave way. Michael fell halfway through the old wood, hanging onto the edge, his face a mix of pain and panic. "Emma, help me!" he shouted. She stared down at him. "You had your chance to tell the truth." He screamed again, but this time she didn't move. The wood broke and he disappeared into the darkness below. Silence. Emma stood there, shaking, staring at the place where he'd vanished. The tape clicked, then stopped. She picked it up, took one deep breath, and walked out of the house as the morning light broke through the clouds. The town would wake soon, and for the first time in years there would be no more whispers. Only the truth.